In this video, I'm going to talk about the reasons why we waste money. There's a lot of reasons. I'm just going over 10 of them today. These are definitely things that I have struggled with in the past, and as I've been kind of on this financial minimalist journey of making sure that every dollar I have either brings me a lot of joy and value, or it goes and works for me so that I don't have to work because I'm lazy like that. And it's really helped me realize the value of money and why we should be learning about it and being very cautious with it and not wasting it on stuff that doesn't bring us any long-term anything, really. I really just wanted it. Now, while buying things that we want is not necessarily a bad thing, when we start wasting money because of it's just things we want, it can end up going south very quickly. When you see a mug that you think is cool and you buy it and you bring it home and you realize this is just a mug. It really doesn't add any happiness to my, to my life. Running low on coffee, I'm desperate, guys. This is definitely something that I've done in the past where instead of asking, do I need this or will this bring me joy and happiness long-term, I just go with like, do I want this? Yes? Okay, let's get it. And then, you know, a day later, a week later, a month later, you realize that that money is gone and you probably don't even use that thing anymore. Number two, it was convenient. Now, this has been a struggle recently, especially with online shopping right now. Amazon, you can get something the next day and it's just a few clicks away. That's something that can be a big trap for a lot of people. It's so easy to get stuff, especially online nowadays, or even when you're in the checkout counter and you're in the line and there's all that stuff along the sides of the aisles. That's all stuff that they want you to impulse buy because it's convenient. It's right there. So just being very cautious about that, especially right now, there's gonna be Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up. It's so easy to spend a couple $100 really quickly online without it actually being stuff that we need, and it's just gonna end up cluttering up our homes to make myself feel better. So I've definitely done this a lot in the past where it's just because I feel down or whatever, and buying something gives you a little bit of a dopamine high. It really does. But then that kind of wears off eventually. Like if you buy a new car, it'll make you feel better when you're buying it, most likely, or it'll give you a bunch of anxiety. But then like maybe a week after, maybe just the next day, it'll drop back down to baseline. It won't improve your overall happiness like at all. And like 90% of stuff out there is not really gonna improve your overall happiness. And if you're doing that just as a coping mechanism of dealing with stress or dealing with whatever's going on in your life, and you feel bad and you go out and buy some shoes or you buy some whatever it is that you buy, that can be a very bad thing. It can add up really quickly. It was on sale. So there's a quote that I live by, and that is, you can go broke saving money. So just because something is $300 and you get it for $100, is this huge discount, woo! Did you really need that thing? You didn't save $200, you spent $100. And it's the same with any type of deal. No matter how cheap it is, you're still spending more money than if you didn't buy it at all. And since I like to save money, something that I like to do is if I go out to a store and I don't buy something, I can say, hey, I saved $20 on that shirt because I didn't get it at all, not because it was, $20 off. It's because I didn't spend that money at all, so I get to keep it. So I think sale items are like the bane of most frugal people, where it's very easy to get caught up and it's really almost like fun to go looking for deals. I used to do that at thrift stores a lot and stuff like that, where it's really fun to go find that $40 shirt for $5. But if you didn't need that shirt and it's cluttering up your home, plus you spent $5 on it, you're just wasting money. Forgetting about stuff. This happens to me all the time, whether it's Amazon, forgetting to return something when it's the wrong size or a mistake order, or it's a late fee because I forgot that I had this bill or I didn't set up auto pay. I set up on auto pay on everything now, but I used to get those stupid $25, $50, $100 like charges because I simply forgot to set up auto pay or forgot to pay my bill. So that's something that I really try to avoid now. It's just like you were just burning money because you forgot to think about it. So for just that few minutes of setting up auto pay or just that few minutes of returning an item, you can end up saving a lot of money, thinking you can afford it. So this is something that I try not to do, but I have fallen into it occasionally, where you try to think that, hey, I can afford $300 a month for this thing or $50 a month for this thing. And while, yes, you technically can afford that, and it's a lot better than looking at that whole payment right off the bat, this can be a big trap. You end up paying interest on that usually. And then what happens if something happens, down the road? Sure, that $300 is not going to make or break you probably if that's what you're budgeting for your car. But what happens if something, you lose your job in the future? It adds a lot more stress on you. So you might be better off going for that cheap car instead of having that nice new car, but then you have that payment and you're strapped to it for a really long time. A lot of those expensive things are really just not worth it in the long run. And just because because you technically can afford something doesn't mean you should afford it. I can afford to go out to eat probably every day if I wanted to, but would I rather invest that money and shave 10 years off my working life? Absolutely. So just because you can afford something doesn't mean you should buy it. Buying stuff under duress. Especially with expensive things, I try to never make that decision too quickly. So if it's buying a car or buying anything really over like $100, I try to make sure I at least wait a week, hopefully 30 days, so I can really think through things and not buy things on impulse. This happens a lot with like people go into a dealership, you get talked into something that is a huge decision and you make it in like an hour. So just making sure you're really in the right mindset, even like going to the store when you're hungry. If you go to the store and you're not hungry, like statistically, you're gonna spend less money there. So just being really conscious of like, why am I buying this thing? And am I in the right mental state to start, making decisions with this money that I worked so hard for? Not really counting the little things. So yes, those little $5 purchases are not gonna like be the difference probably, but they really do add up. And when you start spending hundreds of dollars every month on these little $1 here, $5 there, $3 here, 20 bucks there, it really adds up quickly. And especially if you're like me and you really wanted to get out of your job, so you're saving everything you can so you can buy a property or you can invest it or you can start a business or whatever, that money now is really gonna make a big difference on how soon you're gonna be able to reach financial independence or have less stress or get out of debt or whatever your goals are. So for me, until I reach that level of income that I have enough to not really worry about money, which I'm not even close to right now, I'm just really, I hate spending money on the little things that really after 5 minutes or 10 minutes, it's completely gone and adds no joy or value to me whatsoever. So I'd rather make coffee at home for 50 cents or $1 than go out and spend $3 or $5 on a coffee, because once I finish that coffee, I'm gonna feel the exact same whether I made it here or I got it there. It's the same thing with going out to dinner or getting cheap stuff. Well, that's fine sometimes. If you make a habit out of it, that can really add up, especially if you're trying to get out of debt or you're trying to get started with whatever your goals are. You got strong-armed into it. So I fell for this once. I spent like a couple $1,000s on a course, and if you sign up now, then you'll get $2,000 off. But if you wait, then we can't waive that fee and it'll be cheaper. We'll give you all these incentives, but you still end up paying a lot of money and usually getting roped into a contract. So yeah, I messed up. I impulse buyed something and I got it with a limited time deal. And a lot of times those limited time deals are either not actually cheaper than they really are, or it's just trying to get you to buy something that you don't need because of that scarcity mentality, that fear of missing out on this deal or whatever. Even if you don't need it, you subconsciously like really want it just because it's gonna go away soon. So I don't know why that is, but I've done it multiple times before and it's just stupid stuff. So whether it's big or small, it's a course or it's, the car or, limited time only buy this laptop today, just be very cautious with it. I'd almost rather just not even look at the sales stuff and just buy stuff full price, because I know I'm gonna spend a lot less and buy a lot less things if I'm spending full price for it than if I'm looking at sales. Then I end up buying a lot more sales stuff and I spend actually more money even though it was all cheaper stuff. I don't know if that makes sense, but it happened to me. Stupid. To impress people. This is definitely something that I think a lot of us deal with, right? We waste money to impress people, whether that's like, oh yeah, I'll have a drink with you guys because, whatever. And that's totally fine. But spending money to impress people is something that I've done a lot, especially earlier on in my life, when you're like, you buy a car because it's cooler than this car and you think your friends will like it, or you buy more expensive clothing because, hey, you're wearing Nike and you're wearing whatever else people wear. And it's not because you like it and it brings value to you, it's because other people will think that it's cool. That's something that I try not to do now, is A, care what people think about me, which I still struggle with, or like B, like spend money to impress people that I really don't care about or even know, and they don't care anyways. It's like that Fight Club quote. We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't even like. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and comment what are the reasons that you waste money. We all have different reasons. And quick update on the globe, we're about 250 pins in so far. Some places are a little over congested, can't even like put any more pins in anymore. So I'm slowly working on it, doing like 50 to 100 like every night. So I am looking up the actual addresses to do this, but I've got like over 1,000 more. It seems like no matter how many I put in, there's like, the number's growing on me. So I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. But thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you next week. And you know what? I'm sorry that I was a little over caffeinated today. I was a little hyper, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And thank you for watching, because there's very few people who watch to the very end. So you guys are the inside club, and I love you. All right, goodbye.